Hello, welcome to the December mortgage update. Cannot believe that 2023 is almost to conclusion. If you're watching this, I've got a treat for you on this one. I created something called a blended rate calculator. What this will do is I've had a lot of clients that have come to me and they've got a really low interest rate on their current house. So they come to me and say, Dylan, I don't know if I should rent my place out, if I should sell it, if I should refinance, if I should pull out a HELOC, right? How do I utilize that equity to buy my next home but not mess up that interest rate? Or what should I do, right? This calculator is going to answer all of those questions. So stay tuned for that. Also, once again, all of my resources and everything, all the videos I shoot is on whatcomhomeloans.com. So if you're watching this, you got this on my email newsletter, or you're watching this on social media, or you're on my YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, please, for more updates and program videos. And then my website has all of the resources that I talk about, mortgage updates from prior months, different videos on products, the blended rate calculator, which I will be going over today, but there's a how to use it video 9 minutes long, and you can actually download the calculator straight from my website. So let's dive into the December mortgage update. So once again, I'm going to go over this calculator that is going to make all of your real estate decisions hopefully a piece of cake. And so let's dive into this calculator first, and then I will, of course, as we always do, go through rates, internal turn times, appraisal turn times. Once again, I think 2024 is going to be ballistic in real estate. We've already seen mortgage rates start to trickle down. That's why I created this calculator, because this question is going to be asked more and more as these clients and people sitting on a 2.75, 3.25% interest rate that love their rate but don't really love their home are planning on moving. This will answer a lot of questions for those folks. So this is the blended rate calculator. So the yellow sections are what you fill in. If it's beige or blue, it's locked and you can't fill it out. Okay. So what you do is, with your current mortgage and debt schedule, you're going to fill these out. So let's say that I own a home and it's worth 650 grand. Okay. So I'm going to put that 650,000 in here. And let's say that I owe $250,000 at a 3.25% interest rate. And then you're going to put in your full PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, into here. So my mortgage payment's $1,800. And this is a very common situation with people right now. Well, let's say that I have a HELOC. Maybe I pulled out 100 grand for improving the property. Maybe I'm pulling out 100 grand to buy my next property, whatever it is. HELOCs right now are typically at the prime rate, which is 8.5%. It's a decently high interest rate, but what a lot of people are getting advised to do is to pull out HELOCs so that they do not mess up their 3.25% interest rate. Because if you did a refinance, you'd have to basically lose this 3.25. However, I'm seeing a lot of my clients come in with pretty, with debt, basically. Credit card debt is at an all-time high in the United States, right? Student loans just kicked back in. A lot of people have car loans. It's probably the most typical loan that I see. Well, what you do here is you put in the balance, you put in the interest rate of all your debts, and you put in the payment. Okay. This will calculate a blended rate. So a lot of people come to me and say, well, I've got a 3.25% interest rate on my mortgage. I don't want to touch that. Right. So we either, do a HELOC, or they just stay put because they feel like they don't have options. Well, if you've got credit cards at 24%, 22%, auto loans at 8 and 7%, student loan at 9%, a HELOC at 8.5%, well, really your blended rate is 5.86%. Well, the average 30-year fixed right now is in the high sixes. Okay, so we're starting to really get close to this blended rate. But let's talk about monthly cash flow and monthly expenditure. Okay, so what this does is you fill out all of your debts, you fill out your current house, title and escrow, you can just leave this at $2,500. You fill out what you're going to pay the 2 realtors to sell your house, and excise tax is about 1.78% in Washington. Of course, if you have any questions or need help filling this out, let me know. So on this house sale, right, if I have a house that's worth $650,000, I'm going to make $246,000. Okay. There's 3 options here. Option 1 is to use all of those proceeds right here towards my down payment on this new $800,000 house that I want to buy. Okay. Option 2 would be to use some of the proceeds and then also pay off my remaining debt, which is right over here. And then the third option would be, should I rent out my house and not pay off any debt because I have to rent it out so I can't use that equity? I would say the most common alternative that people do is option 3 right now. But I'm here to explain to you, I own several rental properties. Being a landlord is not always sexy. And when you look at a cash flow perspective, this doesn't take into account appreciation. And if you can hold on to the property, great. This is not a one size fits all. But let's just look at monthly cash flow expenditure. Okay. So in option 1, you're using the full 246 towards the loan. So this calculates, you put in the going interest rate, 6.99. I just put that in. You can put in, rates are actually probably lower right now, 6.625, whatever that may be. Then you put in the taxes, insurance, and other costs for the mortgage. So you're paying $44.75 as your new mortgage payment. Okay. A lot of people say, oh my gosh, that mortgage payment is way too high, Dylan. I'm paying $1,800. Well, you're not. You're paying $5,000 because you have all this debt. Okay. So if you put the full net proceeds down, yeah, you've got $44.75 in a mortgage payment, and then you've still got $24.80 in remaining debt because you're only paying off these 2 loans with this net proceeds. You still have all this debt. So option 1 goes down here. So $69.55 is your total monthly expenses. Okay. Option 2 would be to pay off all your debt and put the remaining amount down as a down payment. Well, look at this. Your mortgage payment is $49.74. So yes, it's more than $44.75. However, you have no debt. So you pay all that off. So look at this. Your total debt now in option 2 is $49.74. Okay. So you're saving $19.81 a month. Okay. Option 3, which once again is most common. So $650,000 house in Bellingham, you're getting about $800 to $1,000 a door. So let's say you get $3,000. Well, we usually take 75% of that because you're going to have vacancies, you're going to have expenses. So really, I'm only pulling in $2,250. Well, my loan payment's $1,800 and my HELOC payment's $750 because whether I use this HELOC to improve the property or for my next house, right, I'm actually losing $300 a month on this property. Okay. Now, option 3, well, I'm buying this $800,000 house, but I don't really have a down payment, right? Maybe I use 60 grand of this HELOC to improve my property. I'm using another 40 grand for my 5% down. Well, look at my monthly mortgage payment now is $58.51. Okay. And this doesn't even, taxes, insurance, other costs, this actually should be higher because of mortgage insurance because it's under 20% down. So you're probably paying a little bit more and you have your current debt of $21.80 because you didn't pay off any of this debt. Okay. So option 3, your total monthly expenditure, because you're losing $300 a month and you have your debt and you have a higher mortgage payment, is $8,031. So in these 3 scenarios, right, unless you can absorb this $8,000 and this property, you want as a legacy property or appreciation or what have you, right, I would suggest this borrower goes with option 2. This is the lowest monthly expenditure, $49.74. It's actually less than owning a $650,000 house with their current debt. Then now they have an $800,000 house and no debt, and they're paying less per month out of pocket. That blew my mind. What blew my mind even more is that I did 2 refinances this whole year out of the 60, 70 loans that I did. Okay. Refinances are not very popular right now because once again, a lot of people are sitting on a 3.25% interest rate. However, this person has $425,000 in total debt. Let's say that they refinance that and do a cash out refinance and pay off their debt. So their new loan balance is $425,000. Let's say rates are 7.25%, usually a little bit more for a cash out refi, right? Once again, these rates change daily, so don't get too tied to these. You can fill out numbers. Their taxes and insurance on this current property, right? Because it's a $650,000 house, it's $450,000. Their total mortgage payment is going to be $3,349. Okay, so it's increasing by $800 a month for their mortgage payment. However, they pay off $2,480 in debt because they pay off all this debt. They are saving $1,680 a month by refinancing this property. This actually made my jaw drop. So once again, this calculator is fun to play around with. If you're thinking about selling, keeping your house, paying off debt, not paying off debt, what to do, Once again, I'm answering this question for many, many clients. Reach out to me if you have any questions or can't figure out the calculator. Happy to run through it with your exact scenario. So let's talk about mortgage rates. So I always run a scenario, $700,000 purchase price, 10% down, over 780 credit, 21-day lock, all the kind of bells and whistles, good credit score, all that. So right now, we're sitting at, for a point, which is a 1% buy down on the loan amount, 6.5%. I think the wheels are going to fall off. Things are going to go bonkers when we hit 6%. If you haven't seen my previous mortgage updates last month and the month before, that's my wild prediction. We hit 6%, and I think we're going to get there, sometime in 2024, maybe Q3, Q4. Could happen sooner, could happen later. If you're a buyer sitting on the sidelines right now, I really, really caution you against waiting because it is the buyer demand is going to absolutely spike, and we're still going to have a low inventory problem for many, many reasons I talked about last month. But these rates, they're looking good. I mean, you look at the 30-year fixed rate. Once again, you can go to, this is Freddie Mac. They publish, the average, weekly average. These are typically with a 1 or 2% buy down. So, right, these are published rates that companies put out there. But look at this drop. From October 26, which if you're a buyer, best time to buy a house was probably in October, November because less buyers out there. Look at this significant drop, right? Basically 6.67% is the average 30-year fixed right now when it was nearly 8%, 2 months ago. That's pretty rapid. Well, what has that done? Look at mortgage applications. I mean, this stuff it's actually pretty simple when you break it down. Well, what happened? When was the height of the rates? October 26. Look at mortgage applications, significantly down. Rates start going down. What happens to mortgage applications? They go up, right? This is going to create more buyer demand. All of these things I've been talking about over and over again. We follow the 30-year treasury. That's where mortgage rates are closely tied to. If you look at this over the last month, you can see a significant drop off. Look at the bond market, right? All the candlesticks. Bond yields are up, which means mortgage rates go down, right? The trends are in our favor for lower mortgage rates, which I love. But my caution is always when mortgage rates are going down, buyer demand, mortgage applications are going up. So if you're a first-time home buyer or a step-up buyer, I think those are the biggest opportunities right now in this market because first-time home buyers, you're paying 100% rent or you're living in your parents' basement. Once these rates hit that 6% threshold, I think, once again, it's going to explode, especially after the holiday season. So I would look sooner than later. Step-up buyers, if you got a house that's, in Whatcom County or Bellingham and that sub 700,000, sub 800,000, and you're looking to move up to that million-plus price point, there's some really awesome opportunities. We're seeing a lot of seller credits. We're seeing a lot of seller paid buy downs to help with that monthly mortgage payment to absorb that cost until those rates come down permanently. And we start seeing a lot more refinances. Internal turn times, we're pumping loans out really, really quick. We can close in 2 or 3 weeks. Get pre-underwritten, get your file in sooner than later, get ready, you want to be prepared. Once again, buyer demand is going up. It's just going to create a lot more competition. So you want to be ready. You want to be equipped and ready with a local lender. Appraisals are happening really fast. Once again, we can close in 2 or 3 weeks if needed to stay super, super competitive. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in this month. Reach out if you have any questions at all. If you go to WhatcomHomeLoans.com under resources, the blended rate calculator, how to use it, video is embedded in there. And if you click on this download link, that Excel sheet will be available. Please reach out if you have any questions on that, want me to run any scenarios for you. Please share it. Friends, family, coworkers, people that are sitting on the sidelines, share this video, share this calculator with them. Happy to help in any way I can. Thank you so much and see you next month.